What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Filpo, and today we're going to be talking to my friend Tyler Viglione. He was a sergeant in the Marine Corps. He and I went to the schoolhouse together. He also was a public affairs specialist, combat correspondent type, and just a wonderful dude overall. And we've both seen each other grow a whole bunch over the years, and we both happen to find ourselves in some similar tough spots over this past year. Tyler has been, roughing it on the outside, trying to make a living for himself, which is difficult as a photographer, which is what he's been doing lately, followed by odd jobs in between. And he reached out to me a few weeks ago, and we've stayed in contact and stuff like that over the years. But we really got to relating and commiserating at times and motivating each other at times, and we were having a discussion, and I wanted to capture a little bit of it, so I was like, you mind if I record some of this as we talk? And he was like, sure, man, go ahead. So we're going to walk into this podcast kind of in the middle, actually, and for context, we start talking about a thing called flow, and we go from there. So I really hope you guys enjoy this. Also, a little bit more background about Tyler. He also happened to be the caretaker of the Marine Corps' mascot, believe it or not, Chesty. That's right, the dog. So that's an interesting little tidbit about him as well. He didn't do that for his entire career, obviously, but that was one thing that he did do while he was at 8th and I in Washington, D.C. So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, great dude, wonderful human being. I think you guys are going to enjoy this, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy. So a few months ago, I was at my therapist, and I told her that this weird thing had been happening. And this is when I was in like literally some of the deepest throes of like depression. You know what I mean? Like what you're going through. I feel like you're pretty much in the heart of it right now, and I'm either just on the tail end of the big stuff, or just a little bit down the line. And I feel like what's happening is the same thing that happened to me, which was this experience called flow, which I came to find out after doing a bunch of Googling and listening to all these like random like professors talking shit like that. And like flow is when it's the middle ground between charity and control. So you're like, and then it's right in between the two. And control is basically like, awareness and like the understanding that like you have control over whatever you do right now in this moment. Like you have total control. Actually, you can literally do whatever. There's consequences, but you can do whatever. So then the other one is charity, and the charity being like giving selflessly, which is obviously like a Buddhist principle. Mm-hmm. And then the middle ground between that is like this crazy state called flow, which is, dude, I'm telling you, like everything was feeling effortless, and it felt like you could, I don't even know, it felt like a drug. Like it felt like, but like obviously you're just like 110% sober. That's like no alcohol, no nothing. It was crazy. It was a crazy experience, and like I'll go in and out of that at times, but it was really strong. Probably almost manic, some would describe it as, maybe. It's definitely a real thing.
I feel you. And then so I've noticed being down here, at least in Wake Forest, a lot of synchronicities in life. These songs that we're listening to for years have played at like a winery that I was at, or I was just at some dude's house, and it was a mix of a song that I had just heard. But it was like a song no one really knew, and it just popped on, and I was like, wow, that's like this. And it was like a weird situation where it was like I didn't exactly want to go, but that was like a synchronicity saying that, hey, this is the universe telling you that this is where you should be right now. And it was comforting, as much as like it's weird to try to believe that sort of thing.
Yeah, right. I feel like we're very skeptical people in that regard. I'm skeptical of that kind of stuff, but I believe now more than ever that the universe works for you if you just let it. I mean, really.
It absolutely does, and I think it's what energy you give out that you get. I mean, I do, like, I write a lot of quotes down on, this is my new little journal. Literally filling up pages a day, just let my brain go, because if it stays in my head, it's gonna just manifest, and these bad thoughts, all this stuff is really going to just continue. And right before I go to sleep, I mean, I write as much as I can, and especially from this book I'm reading. Let me see. So it's like, So things like wisdom is like rainwater. Both gather in the places. Growth begins first in the low places.
Bro.
And that's a quote by like believe the Dalai Lama.
Uh-huh.
Why be unhappy about something that can be remedied? Find what is the use of being unhappy if it cannot be remedied. I hope I'm reading that right. We are meant to live in joy. This does not mean that life will be easy or painless. It means that we can turn our faces to the wind and accept that this is the storm we must pass through. We cannot succeed by denying what exists.
That's like in life it's inevitable that you'll encounter pain, but it's up to you if you want to suffer. That's kind of like
Exactly.
yeah, it's tough. Here, wait. You know what? Hold that thought, because I got something. I want to bring up something real quick. That's crazy. You pulled that up. Un momento.
Yeah.
Which is, it's fucking crazy. This is a pretty interesting one. That's your boy, the
This
Dalai
is
Lama.
crazy, bro.
I know, right? And then here I've got my journal that I do the same exact shit.
Dude, hold up. Just, oh my god. Dude, this is a front cover of mine.
Oh, man.
And then this is my journal. Like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Like,
Dude, same shit.
it's literally, I mean, just different colors. That's fucking crazy. And that's why the Dalai Lama?
This one is so basically a dude that's a psychologist, like a really well-known one, I suppose. I didn't know the motherfucker, but anyway, he goes over. He interviews the Dalai Lama like a fuck ton of times, and essentially it's just the Dalai Lama talking, being transcribed by this guy. It's called The Art of Happiness.
I was gonna buy that. It was either between the Book of Joy or the Art of Happiness.
Yeah, dude. It's lit. I also bought The Art of War at the same time I bought this one because it was just like in the search bar recommended. I was like, no, yeah, I'll buy that too. But yeah, dude, the journal stuff helps so much because, like you said, like if you just get it down, it's not in your head. It's not festering in there. It's not. You're just not ruminating. And I've been a lot better lately of literally just getting shit down either when something bad happens or like, you know, anxiety flares up really bad, or I try to like at the end of each day, you know, write down what happened, how I felt. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah. I'm only on day 4 of it, honestly. I just started. I mean, it's for me this year. I mean, there was a lot I didn't want to remember and a lot I didn't want in the book. It was too bad. I mean, like, I'm actually at the better end of this. I am like actually waking up with a stable mentality now. I just wake up and say I'm grateful just for being alive. Really just take the smallest ounce of gratitude and make it my starting mood for the day. And I practice that, and it's a constant practice every day to just remind myself that, you know what, there's people in the world that have it worse than me. I'm in a bed, I'm in a house, I have a car, you know, I have money to go eat. I'm okay, you know. Is it everything I want right now? No, but it's everything I need. And I have 10 toes, 10 fingers, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils. I'm fine, you know. I'm blessed as a person.
Yeah.
That's what brings me through it.
It's super important to remember that even when you know, you're coming out on the other end of it too, and you have that appreciation. I don't know, something I heard from like Dan Harris is the guy's name. 10% Happier. If you I don't know if you've seen that podcast on Spotify or wherever else. It's called 10% Happier. So I'm a fucking huge fanboy on this tangent for Dan Harris. He's an ABC anchor that like 10 years ago he had a panic attack, maybe even longer, like 15 years ago he had a panic attack on air, like live on air on ABC. And since then he went on this crazy journey that basically, you know, got him into Buddhism and mindfulness and meditation. And it's really good. So I highly recommend his book. I'm just got done reading his book called 10% Happier. And that takes him, it's called Meditation for Fidgety Skeptics. Wow, I can't talk. So basically the book for people like you and me, you know, who come from probably pretty grounded roots, we're up in the, you know, upper northeast side of the states, we're fucking, you know, hard reality is what our people live in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a product of a old-fashioned European family.
Yeah. Dude, my dad, I was just talking to him over Thanksgiving break. He was like, you know, I was talking to him about therapy. I was saying, like, it's helpful. I told him that I don't think therapy is like a pill that just like solves everything, but it definitely gets you to the baseline misery that everybody else has had, which is much better than being all the way down here.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'm fine. I'm like, Dad, you just had your brother kill himself in front of you. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, how can you say you're fine? And then all, you know, it's rough. So he'll at least go to a therapist. It's gonna be my Christmas present.
And my mother's the same way, dude. I bring up meditation or just any sort of mindfulness because of the family situation, because of the separation, like she's past her point in stress, and that's what's causing her heart to just keep fucking, you know, going into these spurts, and it's not good. And the minute I bring up meditation, dude, she's like, no, what you don't understand is this, and this, you know. And I'm just like, you're just making excuses. At the end of the day, you're just making excuses. You're relying on...
It's an old train of thought, too. It's like, that's just where they're cut from, and like, we're cut from that same cloth, I guess. It's like...
But it's 2018, and times are changing. And with people like you and I, as the Eastern culture, I actually had Japanese Reiki performed on me. Which I don't know if you know what that is, but it's an energy-based medicine or medicinal. Basically, I walked into her office. We talked for a while. She put me in these medicine bowls. They're hand-carved brass bowls from Tibet.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
You rang them, and the vibration.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does that work? That's real? That's a real thing?
It is, absolutely. And
whoa.
I had laid down, and she had put her hand on my gut, and the heat from her hand pulled like a lot of negative emotions out of my gut.
What? That sounds wild.
Yeah, for like 20 minutes she sat there. I just felt her hand. It was like pulsating on my gut, and she'd flip me around and then use her knuckle and swipe down my back. And next thing I knew, dude, I was shitting my brains out. Like I was literally shitting my feelings out.
Dude, I would try that. Shit, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I'm open to anything. I'm like, fuck it. I'll try it out. If meditation works, which it does for me, I'm open to anything. I'll try it. I don't disagree with that at all. I don't doubt that one bit that works.
And
fuck,
so
dude, that's awesome.
My experiences, man, it's been dealing with the spiritual awakening in this world. Like, I don't have access to a shaman. I don't have access to very holistic people that aren't in it for the money. Like, a lot of people monetize it here. I did actually visit a Buddhist temple about 20 minutes away from me. I practiced one of their services. I bowed with them. I was praying with them. They were in fucking speaking English, so I was just like, in my own head, like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm gonna...
He was like, okay, yeah, here we go. That's crazy. Dude.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much harder it is down south, especially.
Especially. South, it don't matter, dude. Culture. Unless you're in Arizona, the spiritual hub of of this country, you know, the Red Rocks, all that. That's
where all the retreats are, man. That's what we need to get you on it if at some point.
I'd love to do an ayahuasca retreat in Peru.
Yes, dude, I would be down. I've heard that Dan Harris, again, dude, I hope you do check out his podcast, because it's like, you're going to have shit to listen to for days and days. Yeah. Like, such good stuff. They cover everything about meditation and Buddhism and all sorts of different types of meditation that come from that. It's crazy. So...
And I'm sure with all the, a lot of the work I've done on myself, dude, like, I have so much wisdom and so much, like, the ability to be able to teach people how to get through their own problems, because I haven't had help. I haven't been able to go to a doctor and be like, hey, dude, I need someone to help me get back on my feet. At this point, dude, I make 10 steps forward, and then something happens, and, a bill comes up, or the insurance gets cut, and I'm just like, well, fuck, dude, like,
yeah,
I just... to try to have people understand where I'm coming from, it's been like, I just tell people, and you're like the first one that's even just kind of been like, wow, dude, that's a lot of shit you've gone through. Everyone else is like, oh, you should be fine.
What? No, 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 no.
And that's
No.
been,
No.
and I, to say I've been past my breaking point, bro, I want to do nothing but just off myself in Boston. Like, I was just like, I can't live another day through this. But then I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? The whole life I gotta live.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I had to take a sick day from work the other day or the other week because I literally just, my anxiety was so fucking bad and my mind wouldn't stop talking to me and I'm just racing about shit. And I literally was like having like a panic attack. I was getting sweaty and like my heart was racing and I was just like, I was just getting manic and I was like, fuck this, dude. Like, I'm out. And I just had to take a day and I don't know. I hate when that happens. And I hate when I'm feeling like that, but at the same time, that gives me a baseline that I know I don't want to be at, and just having that awareness that I don't want to be at that point. Like, yesterday was the first day I went and worked out in the morning since I left the Marine Corps, really.
No, really.
Dude, like, and I haven't even been working out. I lost maybe like 20 pounds, and my dad was like, What did you do? And I was like, dude, nothing. I just pointed to my head, and he was just like, whoa. I was like, yeah, I just trying to be less stressed, less anxious, more meditation, more mindfulness, more perspective getting from all these books and stuff like that, trying to get more knowledge about it. Just kind of falls off. And then you realize the only way you can get better, and you've always known this, is if you do the little things to, like, basically you treat yourself like a thoroughbred horse or something like that. You get good, like, sleep, which I wasn't getting for a long time. I was staying up till 4 a.m.
That's what I literally still on that vibe. Like,
Yeah.
But I mean, I use the nighttime to read. I have my tea every night. I mean, I've created different, and mostly because I do like the nighttime. It's so much more quiet.
It's quiet, less people. Yep.
And I mean, I do need, once I have, like, I just need a new foundation, dude. Like, I'm ready to fucking go destroy this world. Like, with my photography, with my passion. Like, I don't know if you saw the double exposure I did.
Dude, I love that. That was dope.
I appreciate that. Well, the reactions I got from that, dude, it was so euphoric, dude. I literally thought I dropped a tab of acid. How euphoric that was, because the deepness of my experiences, how profound and just how completely fucking wild they were, bro. It's created this passion in me where it's just like, even at that food pantry yesterday, I busted my fucking ass for, like, whatever reason. I just wanted to do it for nobody, for no reason other than to help people. And that's going to take me far, you know, and I want to benefit others. I don't want to benefit myself. Of course, I want to be in a nice place in life. I'd like to have a stable bank account. I'm living off cash right now, dude. I don't even have a bank account to live off. I can't put money in the bank. All my banks have locked me out because they let shit, like, one of my banks in Tennessee let fucking $300 worth of charges. I asked them not to let through. And then they charged me $30 per charge on a late fee. So I said, go fuck yourself. I said, you can eat that money. I'm not paying. And taxes haven't been done this year. Like, I've been literally, dude, just back against the wall, just fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting.
It'll let up. It'll let up. There will be a time where it all comes together a little bit, and you're doing the right stuff, because that mentality you just brought up, that whole, like, selflessness is great, because, like, selflessness in and of itself is actually a bit of a selfish thing. It's a good thing. It's a good type of selfish, because if you're selfless and you go and help others with no particular agenda and you're just doing as much good as you can, it comes back to you, because that's human nature. Humans are, like, we're tribal and we're packs, and, like, when somebody's looking out for the pack, like, you're going to return that favor, and that is just how it works. Like, it will, I guarantee it will happen enough times. It'll happen big. That's how it always happens.
And that's, I think this is preparing me for something really big, almost more about hope. It's kind of getting through these wavelengths to that point, like, just keeping hope. Like, I drove without insurance, like, all this year. I had it from June to yesterday. I had insurance, and then I lost it again. And I'm like, now I'm back on hope. I'm hoping that someone doesn't hit me.
Hope's the key. Hope's the key. Hope is better than fear. Hope is that's because if you don't have hope, you're just nihilistic, and there's no hope. Like, there's no life in being so dark that, you know what I mean? Like, there's no hope. Yeah.
Hope is absolutely just, and it's not hoping for, like, someone to come rescue me and whatever. It's like, I understand that this is my shit that I've done. This is, I'm responsible for everything I've done. But at the same time, like, there were so many variables that, like, to just kind of write off mental health and whatever, like, there were so many variables since my EAS from the Marine Corps. And my time in the Corps was shitty as fuck. As good as it was, like, I was treated like absolute garbage as well. And it's just like, perspective, that was immature Tyler. That was a Tyler that was fucking 19 to 22.
We were younger, like, dude. We were just younger.
Dude. Yeah. You can't really blame me for the shit I did in the Marine Corps.
No.
4 jobs to do, especially care for another life. Yeah. And I rocked it, you know?
Yeah, we had all sorts of stress, and everyone in our friend group did great things, 100%.
Yeah, oh, they did, definitely. And still, I mean, I just actually met up with Falk, or Gramley now.
Oh, yeah, I've seen her in the PX a couple months back.
Yeah, she's up in Syracuse now at doing the school.
That's dope.
I actually spent Thanksgiving with her and Carson. I don't think you ever met him. But they're married, and, I mean, they're doing well. And, I mean, I love seeing the people we were with doing what, you know, just out there making fucking lengths in this world.
Yeah, I just hope everyone's doing good.
Yeah.
Mentally as well.
Keep up with a lot of people. I try to, but I really have been kind of out. But since we're on, you know, this, I'll ask you. You know, you said you're bringing this onto social media and you're talking about it, and that's something I want to do. And I kind of even want to ask for help through social media.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. Hey, you know what? Here's what I'll tell you what we could do. Because there's more people like you and me than you think. I just happen to be, I think, in an area that is so concentrated with vets that you're bound to trip over a couple people like us.
Yeah.
Jimmy Shea is one. There's a couple of dudes from my work that are absolutely in the same boat as us mentally. My buddy John Snyder's great. He's a Navy vet. And then I have some Air Force veterans like Jared Watson. Dude, these guys are all like, not to use this fucking antiquated term, but they're all like fucking woke. Like they're all aware of themselves, and they're all just looking at self-improvement and like how to be their best self, and like that's what it is. Yeah.
And I mean, I know at least for me, helping others is what's going to make me whole, and it's going to like complete, like not like, there's going to be points in my life where I'm going to be selfish, and we all are. You know, at the end of the day, our brains are made up to be me. You know, I mean, you can think of it. We're in these little, you know, this little brain, but this little brain's our whole world. Like you said, you know, you've had days you've woken up and your mind is just taking control. You know, but when I look at you, I see you. I don't see your world. I don't see your brain.
Right, the perspective,
the things, like I can put myself in your shoes. I could, you know, I've had a natural ability of empathy. That's why I'm in this position, because I took on everybody's shit and did not know how to mitigate, did not know how to channel it and cut it off when I didn't need it.
Right.
And so working in the death industry was like the worst thing for me, because that is the worst times in people's lives. And I took that energy on. That energy completely consumed me, and it was like a curse that I had to fight through. And that's what I've understood because of Buddhism, because of when you understand why we're empathetic, what, you know, empathy does to humans and why we have it, and how dogs have a more developed sense of empathy is why they care and they go lay next to you, because they're naturally, you know, their brains are naturally more the left hemisphere of their brain. Yeah, the left hemisphere of their brain is more developed than humans. But humans have the ability to develop it. You can't teach a dog empathy. I mean, it just is what the dog does. But I'm so well versed in emotions and understanding like why things are happening. And I've been doing Buddhist research and Eastern religion research. I mean, everything from understanding what the Garden of Eden was to the story of Cain and Abel, you know, to understanding why, like, this all, we see life a certain way, but when you pull back the layers, you know, there's certain depths of it that are so profound and so unexplainable. It's just hard to get people to believe it because that's not what they know.
Most people are kind of sleepwalking around in their old ideologies and everything like they've been told about the world. And
yeah.
Yep. And then they're less aware, and that makes them less aware. Like when you see somebody at, like, for example, if I'm at work and I see somebody get like really frustrated or really mad, it's just like, old me would get pissed as fuck, but me now is like, all right, so they're obviously projecting something that happened
Yeah,
either at some time earlier in the day or sometime in the past. That's a trauma of some sort.
exactly. And
That's all
you
it
kind of
is.
be able to read people better. You can, when people are angry, like, a lot of my friends are just like, alpha males. Like, they need to be the top guy. They need to go beat the shit out of everybody. And it's like, that's just fear, dude. It's fear. They're
Right.
scared of something.
That's something.
And and that's because I was that angry kid. I was very angry in the Marine Corps. Even as a child, I was an angry kid. And now I've understood why I was the way I was. And looking at, I mean, even the doctor or the social worker at the VA told me, she was like, dude, you're like your own little therapist. Like, I don't meet people like you that have actually had the ability to learn about themselves that much to be able to understand, because I went through an absolutely narcissistic relationship for the last 4 years. It just ended over the summer, really. Complete total gaslighting. She wanted total control over me, and I was vulnerable. She got it.
That sucks.
I mean, it is, but I've inflicted all of this on myself. I let her do that. That was in my control. I didn't have.
Well, you just weren't aware enough. You can't be too judgmental of yourself there, but
exactly. It was a lesson though, and I still love her. It's like I'll always love her. I mean, I did actually tell her I loved her, and I meant it. But she has a lot to learn as a young girl, and I forgave her because not forgiving her isn't going to do anything for me.
Sure. Yeah, you don't want to hold on to that stuff.
Yeah, and so I've been through a lot of bad experiences. Like, for some reason, I've been put on this test since I was a little kid, and it's been a constant fight through my own head. I'm still alive, and that's what counts to me.
Yeah.
What I want to do now is show my story, because people like yourself, I mean, if you're using it on a platform, that just gives me a little bit of like backing. That's like, I'm just scared to use it. I'm scared. And I'll be honest, I'm scared that, I'm going to post something like that and then people are just going to rip me apart. I couldn't handle that.
You know what, though? I think you can, and I'd be hypocritical if I said I don't worry about, because like I know I'm worried about, you get worried about your ego, your image, you're worried about what people's perceptions are of you, you get worried what your parents would think of you, but that's irrational shit bouncing around in your mind because it's not true. It's actually the opposite, like what you just said. Like, man, you don't like. I look to like Jimmy for that kind of inspiration because when he does it, it empowers me to do it, and if I do it and it empowers you to do it, that's even better, and then that empowers somebody else to do it, and then all of a sudden we got a chain reaction. That's kind of like what's happening.
And it's been on my mind since, this whole year. I've wanted to talk about my situation because, like, I do need help, dude. I'm not gonna sit here and say I can do this myself. I can't. I've created a huge mess in my life, and I am gonna be the one that cleans it up. But I can't do it alone at this point.
Yeah, I feel you.
If that's just seeking opportunities through social media, it's a huge platform, and I could get so many people just to watch. But it's the way I project it. It's how I kind of form it so people perceive it the way I want to. That's where I'm struggling.
A lot of this is gonna be just like, because what I'm worried about is. For me, day to day, like even like days like today where everything is going perfectly fine, I always know in the back of my mind, like, yo, the demons are still out in the parking lot doing push-ups. You know what I mean? It's going to come back. It's going to happen. It happens like once a week. You know what I mean? Like, so that knowing that, just having that more of that self-awareness, I'm trying, especially with Jimmy, like recently, like just like you, like we've been totally in the dark navigating these kind of different ideologies and thoughts and all sorts of stuff, just being generally curious about, rethinking how everything's been imprinted in our minds. And like, we've been navigating that completely alone. We have threads and threads and threads of conversations that are just like Bibles back and forth because we're exploring these ideas that are just questioning, like, institutionalized bullshit that's been printed into us. And like, I really do think that us talking about it, I think bringing you into the loop and talking about this kind of shit, and there's no pressure. That's the other thing. It's all just a conversation. I'm not even like, I've decided that if we do any of these things live, I'm not going to put on donation sounds and stuff like that, because I turned off my subscriptions and stuff for my channel because I don't even want to have the possibility of money tainting the whole thing.
And then that's even my thing. In my situation, as broke as I am, dude, I don't want money from people. As much as it would help, I need opportunities, and I just need to be boosted, bro. Like, I just need to have that confidence again, to find that opportunity where, and this has been my thing, like, yeah, I can go get a job doing $14 an hour. It's going to kill me, though. One, I'm going to work harder than $14 an hour. Because anything I put my mind to, I'm going to do the best I can fucking do. And I think after this experience, if I'm not going to be able to see a doctor, if I'm not going to be able to at least seek some help in my own experiences and figuring out all the bullshit that has gone through my head and the absolute profoundness that, or not, it is profound, but the absolute just like the depths I went, dude. Like, there's not many people in this world that went as low as I went. And, you know, just to want something impactful in turn for that, it's not too much there.
You know what's crazy though? At the same time, there's this funny thing that depression does where it makes you feel like you're the only person with it. Bro, I feel that all the time. I was crying one time on the way down to DC, or way back from DC from my girlfriend's, and I was on the phone with her, and I was like, just having one of those panicky breakdowns, and like, you know, I wasn't crying because I was sad. I was crying because I was like, if there's anyone out there who feels the way I do, I don't wish. I mean, I want to help them. I don't want to wish this on anybody. This is the worst feeling in the world. Yeah. And I mean that. I mean, it's the worst fucking feeling in the world. Just like how you just thought that like nobody else has felt like you feel. Millions. You're just all in the dark, suffering.
I'm sure, and it's just because this is my first conversation with anybody that's actually given like, not given a shred of a shit, but like has understood at a level where it's like, okay, like I'm not crazy.
Oh. Yeah.
Because that's been my thing. It's like, well, I try to talk to doctors about it. They're like, oh, you shouldn't be dealing with anything. Like, here's some pills, whatever. No one even has the perception ability to, well, at least people that I've talked to, because like I've literally sat people down like, hey, I need help. I need help. And like, that's it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's my mother, that's my sister, it's my stepfather, you know, some friends that I've had that I've tried to talk to. They're just like, well, I don't know what to tell you.
And nobody can relate. They just don't. There's no way they can even conceptualize it. So that's why it's so surface level. Not because they're bad people. It's just that like they can't conceptualize what you're going through, and or maybe the degree of which, or culture has, especially in Boston, has bred into them like you keep your thoughts to yourself and your feelings to yourself, and then you die. It's like
literally, my parents say life sucks and you die. That's the mentality.
1 second.
Yeah, you're fine.
So actually, you remember Biceswinger?
Yeah.
I'm helping her move mattress from her Gunny's house. She got a good deal on it or whatever. She just moved out this way.
Oh,
she got stationed at the schoolhouse, yeah.
Oh shit, she teaching now?
Yeah, dude, her and Nunez both they've literally gone to every duty station together. Is that not wild? That's 3 duty stations together. That's wild. Or is it 4? Did she go to Syracuse? No, okay. Except for Syracuse, but
Yeah, this is just the beginning, dude, and I pushed myself this far. I can't imagine the next steps of this.
I'll tell you what, a lot of it's just timing, because I'll tell you what, man, I've been tormented for months trying to figure this out. This is it. This is all I can think of. This is it. I think this is perfectly where it needs to be.
And dude, my appreciation for you and you know anything.
Don't mention it, man. It's not even me. It's the universe. It's purely the universe. I just swear to God.
Well, thank you, dude.
Dude, for sure.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna jet to Fort Meade real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go help Bice move that shit, and I'm gonna come back this way, dude. I'll let you know when I get on the horn with Josh, and we'll fucking go from there.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, I'll be around. I can really
dope, dude.
Figure out some shit about money today, and that's about it.
All right, man. Yeah, dude. Don't worry too much. I think it's gonna work out.
All right, man. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and definitely look forward to hearing from you again.
Later, bro.
All right. Bye.